guys, excuse my voice. So today I'm going to be doing a small video and it's just going to be describing my CNC cage and allowing you to find out where I got my grids and connectors from. There's a lot of people have been asking me, especially on Instagram, where I can get the cages from, and especially the Correx, and how expensive and how to put them together. So I'm going to do a small little overview of the cage, tell you where I got all mine from, and I'll just show you a little bit of how to put it together on a small scale. Okay, so thank you for watching. Okay everybody, so I put together this like little makeshift corner of a CNC cage, and all what it is it's got these little connectors on each corner. So there's one on the sides which you will connect extra panels to, the corner which connects like this, if you can see, and then you have one at the top. Where is it? Where's the top? I can't see it, but yeah, there's one at the top just like on the bottom. And I know one of my grids has a massive hole out of it, but it's the only spare one I have. So this is the simple CNC cage modular system, and the connectors just keep it all in place, keep it angled up and make it like a square or rectangle or whatever shape that you want it to make. Now if you were going to have a loft area, instead of having the connector facing upwards like that, or downwards, you would have the connector facing upwards, so then you can connect more grids through these parts. So that's just pretty simple, and that's how to do the main part, and that's just how you really build the CNC cage for the modular system. But if you really wanted to make it more secure and stable, then people put cable ties, and cable ties are these, you can see that, and they just clip in like this, make it like a little tail, and people connect them, and I'll just show you on here. You just go around and then clip in, so pretty simple, and then you just zip it up. So let me just show you that. So it's all zipped in, and that happens all around the cage, so then it keeps all the grids secure. I've done that on one of my cages when I hadn't have any connectors at the bottom, and the cable ties were able to be moved around with the grids, so the grids could go in different shapes to make a circle shape, better for a run. And but if you have your connectors as well as zip ties, then it's a bit better. Zip ties are what they're called in America, by the way, and cable ties are what they're called in England. So that is pretty much the basics of building a CNC cage and how to make it sturdy. So next I'll go on to a little bit of Correx work, and I'll show you how to score and how to turn up the sides on a little piece of spare Correx. So they're like a little mini model for you. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're onto the Correx part of this little demonstration, and I've just cut and scored out some of the plastic on this Correx. Now this Correx is about 4mm in width, if you can see, and this is the average thickness. A lot of people do go for the 6mm because it's a bit thicker and a bit more sturdier, especially if you're having no CNC grids, and then it stands up by itself, it's pretty secure. But for 4mm it's not too thick and it's not too hard to cut through and everything, so I prefer this. But if you're going to do thicker sizes, then that's perfectly fine. It's just up to what your preference is. Now, Correx and Coroplast is pretty much the exact same thing, just called different things in different places. Now this, if you can see, has little lines going through, and this is because it's corrugated plastic. And the pieces inside the lines, they are hollow, so they are easy to cut through around the grooves. So I've cut and scored this, and I'll just explain what scoring is. Scoring is not going through the plastic, so I'll just show you an example. This is scoring, and this is obviously cutting. And I'll just go and show you the example of a little cage base that I'm going to put together for you. Okay, so I'll come back. Okay, so I've just put together this little base, and I just clipped it in because I'm not going to glue it, but these are the little flaps that just fold over once you've scored them. Now I'll explain how I did this on an unreveal, and this is just how it looks. This is my little base. Pretty unmeasured and just guesswork, but it's come out just to look like a little base for a cage. So that's really what you want the shape to end up looking like. A lot of people do put flaps on because it's easy to fold up and it makes it more secure and held up by itself. And they glue it on with either like Evo stick, contact adhesive, or they just use little sticky tape like I use, which is perfectly fine because it just sticks perfectly well and it keeps it just upright. But other people, they just cut the sides and just glue them up, which is a bit more unsecure and unsupported, but it doesn't really matter, it's just what you prefer doing and how much Correx you've actually got. So this is just a basic cage size, well, miniature cage size, so I could say this is like a 2x6 or something, just for an example. And I'll go through it now, just showing you how to score and unscore this, and I'll show you which bits need scoring and which bits need cutting. Okay, so let me just take off these little clips on all four sides. Okay, so now you can see it's pretty much falling apart, so let me just flatten it out for you, and then just get that off there, and that. Okay, so now if you can see, across here we've scored this part, and we've cut these two sides up here, and then we have scored these little flaps on the edge and scored it across. So the whole line up here is scored, and then there's two cut lines. Then the rest over here is also scored on top and bottom, and then the same over here. So this part is cut and this part is scored all across here, and I'll show you it from the back side as well so you can see the scoring a little bit better. So the scoring is just that, which is a little bit easier to see. So that's pretty much how you make just a casual box shape. So that's just that. And Correx is really easy to get a hold of. At my sign shop I got mine for £12. It comes in 8x4 sizes or 4x4 sizes, so it's pretty simple to get a hold of and it's relatively cheap. And in England it's probably hard to get for, I think, because I've heard quite a lot of people in the US say it's quite easy to get hold of, but it may be the same case for England as well and other places. So I'm just saying it from my point of view. I found it quite easy as I had a sign shop in town, but other people might find it a bit difficult because of the sizes, and transporting it is a bit of a devil really, but it's not really much of a problem. Anyway, so that's pretty much the Correx base, and that will just sit inside your CNC grids, and that's pretty much just how it is done. So that's pretty much it, and then all the sides just fold up and then make that little grid shape. So the flaps, I'll show you how to do it now. The flaps just go up here, this side, and the flaps just tuck around the back. So makes a nice little box shape, if you can see. So that's pretty much just that. So that's my extra piece of Correx done. So once you get the hang of just cutting out the flaps and stuff, it's pretty simple. The measuring can be a bit of a pain because with mine that I've got in the bottom now, for the white bit, that was a bit wrong because the bottom of it is like bowed slightly because it's a bit too long, which I'm going to have to fix at some point because it's quite a nuisance. But then again, it's getting it back out again. And the background noise that you can hear is one of the guinea pigs chewing on something. So goodness knows what, but that's it. Okay, so I'll come back and I'll show you some more. Okay, so now I've shown you how to pretty much put together a CNC cage. Now I'm going to tell you where I got my grids and my Correx from. But I've told you pretty much where I got my Correx from. It's just a little plastic shop in my town. But where you can get yours from B&Q, in England anyway. You can get yours from any hardware or DIY store, because they do different stuff and it's used for like roofing and stuff as well. So a lot of DIY shops will have it in stock. It will come in like different thicknesses, and especially for hardware it might probably come in the thicker sizes. But if you can find a little plastic shop, then it could come in a bit less of a bulky size as well. And you can get yours cut as well from these places, so it's a bit nicer anyway. But you can get it from B&Q in England. I know you can get it from there. You can get it from random little plastic sign shops in England and America. Not sure on any names, but the one I go to where I live is called the One Stop Plastic Shop, and that's really good for different Correxes, different plastics, everything, different glues for plastics, all sorts like that. So I can get pretty much everything I need from there. I got my grids because I live in England. I can't go to Bed Bath & Beyond, Target and stuff like that because I don't live in America. So in England it's a bit more difficult to get your grids. But I found mine on Amazon under the name of also Grendel and Grendel Enterprises. I shall write the name in the description box or as a little cover, like little photo. Oh, Kit Kat's got hay in her eye, silly piggy. I'll get it out in a second. Oh no, she's got it out herself. But anyway, so it's pretty much that. You can get it from online, especially in England. It's easier to get it online than anywhere else. I've been told that Costco has some grids, but I've seen them in the store, but I haven't seen them online. And that was a couple of months ago, and they only come in black. You can get them from Staples, I think, but I'm not too sure anymore. They used to be able to, but I'm not sure anymore. In America there's loads of different other stores that you can get it from, and I think America has the widest range of them. But on Amazon and eBay, where I got mine from, I've ordered twice off Grendel Enterprises and also Grendel. They are a co-company of themselves, and they go on eBay and Amazon. And people may think because they're on eBay that they are already used. Well, they're not. They are brand new grids in modular systems. If you put in CNC cage or wire grid storage, then they will come up. You can get them. Well, I got mine in packs of 26 grids and 32 connectors. And mine are pretty easy to work with. I like mine. None of them broke, other than this one connector over here, which I've used so many times to remodel my cages. I'm surprised it lasted this long. But anyway, so also Grendel and Grendel Enterprises are good for CNC cages, and their postage is really good and quick. If you have any problems with them, they will get in contact with you and they will send out a new pack. I've had problems with mine before. That's one came a little bit dodgy. One of the grids, one of the little wire pieces were off, and I thought it's a bit dangerous to use it. So they sent me another one, and so that was pretty good and handy. So they're really good for that, and I recommend them. But there's a lot of different other people on Amazon and eBay that are willing to sell used ones and new. You just have to read the description on their websites and they'll come up. So I hope this video has actually helped you a bit more about CNC cages. So I hope it's helped anyway. I know it's a bit long-winded, but I'm sorry about that. But thank you very much for watching. If there's any questions, comment below. Thank you. Bye bye.